tell us how everything got started.
Thank- For sure. Thank you so much. This is a beautiful question. And my story comes from pure sympathy and empathy, a human-centric connection with human. So I was an engineer, so I'm an immigrant also. About 12 years ago, I came from Iran. So I came to US to, doing some study on very carbon nanofiber composites, which is a very unique research project. So there was like this device that was unique in the world. Maybe two or three of them exist in the world. So I came to study using those devices in University of New Hampshire. After I finished, I got a job as a robot designer or robot manufacturer in a car manufacturing company called Continental Contitech. I was just like working on robots, vision systems, and installing this new programming these semi robots. So robots there. Coming from a kind of a more community background in life, and also when I was a kid, I used to do, positive reinforcement myself, think about positive things. I was like, okay, let me just do, after a few months, I was like, let me just do some curiosity research on these people. Let's see how it works. So these people who were working on the car parts, they had these cells and they had the screens in front of them, and they were following steps to complete these parts. One thing I did out of curiosity, because also the company needed to increase profitability, increase productivity. So we were working on the vision systems, working on the devices. One thing I did, I implemented some gamifications with these
Mm.
people who does more things, who does faster. Additional to those things, after they completed the task, going through this assembling task, after these people completed some assembly task, I showed them a positive message. I showed them, I programmed 60 different positive messages. And I came back Monday and I saw these people who were using these devices to complete these parts for car companies like Tesla, BMW. They became they became significantly happier. They changed, and these people are like socializing. They're just connecting, and they're laughing. Like these people who were very bored on a production floor was laughing. So the idea of, hey, I was thinking that everyone in the world, there are 8 billion of us on this planet, and every one of us have these phones and there are screens. And the idea of, what if I can build something, I can build an app that feeds this positivity into daily people's lives every day, and people wake up with this positivity. What would happen
Mm.
when I saw that scene, that people became much happier with just this pat on the back that I give them with a robot? They became much happier. So that idea came, and that's how I started. And I'm excited to be here at this moment.
Excellent. I would want
Thank you.
one. Every day I wake up with Jiani, you're doing excellent work. It's gonna be a fantastic day. I actually put this on my calendar. Like I have a calendar reminder in the
Mhm,
morning,
mhm,
8 a.m.
mhm.
It's gonna be a fantastic day today.
Oh, you do that right now?
I do that.
Interesting. That's
Yeah, I think
wonderful.
everybody needs a little like prop up or something like that.
Oh, I agree,
Excellent.
because we usually forget as humans. I think it's part of us. We forget how amazing we are. We forget how much do we have. And I would love to get into that more in next questions of, a discussion about how also gratefulness increase our happiness,
Mm.
because it reminds of what we
Yeah, yeah, that almost deserve another kind of podcast, the
have. Sure.
gratefulness. Yeah. So
That's
coming back to the startup, so Boonoob, this is a very interesting name, and I'm very curious about like why and how you come up with this name and what does that mean?
Thank you so much. Of course. So when I was like trying to find a name for the app, and my goal was happiness. One thing I realized was like, if I name if I name a company that is about happy or jolly, or it's not gonna be taken seriously. If you talk happiness, people are gonna look at it as a soft, it's not a real business. It's not a soft, funny thing. We need to create something that speaks to everyone. The name should be intriguing enough and vague enough so we can do a lot of things with it.
Mm.
Something that caught my eyes was like to create a name that is called Plandrum. Something, a name that you can read it from left to right or right to left. If you look at Boonoob, you can read it from left
Oh.
to right and right to left. Boom is means in his English word means good, means beneficial.
Mm.
And then I reversed it, became noob. So noob is newbie, is someone who's low, who's trying to do better, is a beginner.
Mm.
So, and I imagined a boon noob who means betterment, means that we can make everything better. It doesn't matter. Everyone at some point they're beginner in some of a skill. Everyone they may be good at one skill, but there's some part that they're not really good. So everyone can benefit. Everyone can
Mm.
improve their skills.
Actually, when you say bloom, I feel like bloom, like everybody like bloom,
Exactly.
like a
Bloom.
flower, bloom,
I
and
love
then you
that.
we help each other to bloom.
Absolutely. I think that's completely what you're talking about, helping each other to bloom. And that's what it is.
Excellent. Now let's kind of talk about the a few of like case studies or examples where you are using the Boonoob application to kind of connect people. Um,
Absolutely. I lived in San Francisco before pandemic, but after pandemic I came back. But I didn't have any friends. So I met some few people, and at the same time, what we did, we said, okay, guys, let's go to Dolores Park every Saturday. So we call it Dolores Park Saturdays, and we create this little group on Boonoob, and we're like 10, 15 of us doing this Saturday thing. So this little Saturday activity that we said, let's do it every Saturday, became such a huge, a wonderful group. Not only, I don't mean big group, it became such a strong relationship between all of us. We became the best friends. About 10 of us that was just doing these activities again and again. As proven scientifically, if you do stuff with people again and again, your bonds increase. And that's what happened.
mm,
We became the best friends. Actually, last month we had a goodbye party with our friends who went to Canada, and it's going to come back 6 months. But we had a big party for him, all 10 of us, and we felt like a family. So that was a use case for myself, finding friends through our own app. I was very happy about that. So that's just one of the cases. I would love to tell you more cases. So.
excellent, excellent. So friendship is very important. Is there any, so for our audience out there, the who are learning development leaders, professionals out there, is there any stories that you can share that's about like learning? Because I know there has been a kind of 70-20-10 learning model in the corporate or the even a higher ed space. It focuses on like 10% is like official training, 70% is like workplace learning, and then the 20% is actually the social learning. Do you have any case study to share about the social learning part of experiences?
Absolutely. I think it's huge. Although it might sound like 70-20-10, I think that
Mhm.
20% of the social learning is very important. And is in your studies as well, like inclusivity and also adaptability and collaboration, is huge in learning. Is that we're bringing a fresh air to Silicon Valley. Is that usually in Silicon Valley, you go to a networking event, these people are more serious and transactional. They're looking for money. There's a founder, he's looking for money, and there's an investor, he wants to invest. And this founder is talking to investor, they're stressed, and the investor is running away, and the founder is chasing, and all these different things are happening to founders or investors, all different things, or technology people who are out there trying to do business. So most of the time that will happen. We've been trying to create environments that people are the same people who are transactional in the other environment come and hang out in a more relaxing, more connecting, more friendly environment, that they are not necessarily transactional. They are more there to create genuine connections. And so that has been paying off massively. And also this Sunday, we had an event called No Pitch Picnic. So basically this idea of, hey, we're going to have a picnic. Founders and investors are going to come join us in Dolores Park. It's going to be a picnic. We're going to eat food. We're going to listen to music. We're going to dance. We're going to play games, but there's no pitch. So we had this idea, and for Sunday, during the few days, we had this few days to tell people to come. Many people showed up. Many people showed up. People ate food. People hang out. People listen to music. People dance. People play games. and people created really nice connections. And so seeing that the same people who had very transactional relationship come in and to build more connections and
Mm.
more genuine connection, more strong connection. That was a fresh air. And until today, people are messaging me, when is the next time? Like it was a huge success. It was a huge success. And I think it goes back to that 20%. I think that 20% is very important for anyone, for workplaces, for professionals to be able to experience their coworkers, experience their colleagues in a more relaxed, fun way, more social way, because it creates that the connection different way. I mean, you know that better regarding that, including magic, right? We
Yeah.
gamify.
What do you think is the kind of element that really kind of turned them away from a transaction based interaction to more of like creativity, like humanistic way of interacting with each other? Do you think what do you think is the kind of secret sauce?
I think, personally, I think anyone gets tired. If you do one thing again all the time, again and again, you get tired. And that's what I saw again in that manufacturing company. A repetitive job makes you tired because there's no creativity in it. There is no fun into it. But when you add fun into it, when you add creativity into it, the whole thing changes. Now you have more joy. Now you have more intrinsic motivation. And I'm going to go back to positive psychology that
Mm.
talks about flow, is that when your skills meet your challenges. I think when people are engaged in the things that they like, they flow into they're in the zone. And I saw people in their zones, they're like happy. And so the sun is shining, they're having a good time, they're in the zone, they're enjoying the activity. So that creates a friendship, that creates the genuine connections. It's like I'm tired of what I'm doing every day, but I want to have fun. And I can, at the
Mm.
same time, I can have fun with my coworkers or people who I know already or people who I might do business with. So it gives them opportunity to go outside of this working environment and create more connections. Because at the end, in any business endeavor, at the end is all about connection. There's a
Mm.
famous word that says your net worth is your network. So it's just for anyone, especially in Silicon Valley, the more network you have, the more genuine connection you have with people, you will be more successful. I think that's why people love to create more genuine connections rather than just be
Mm.
transactional.
Mm. Mm. Now I think our audience probably are satisfied with all the inspiration stories and interesting stories. Let's kind of shift our topic to the hot topic of the year, the AI thing. So currently, how are you and your team leveraging AI into empowering more authentic connections among human beings?
I'm very grateful for technology. Um, the problem that lots of people are facing is that, meeting each other is hard. And that's a true fact of it. So if it was easy, lots of people have done it already. If it was
Mm.
easy, then we didn't have all these lonely people out there. And the loneliness, the happiness, the well-being score of the world is 5.5 out of 10. The world can be happier. The world can be more flourishing. There um, 2 out of 3 adults are lonely, feeling lonely. So if people were solved this thing before, we didn't have this problem right now. So in order to solve this problem, we need as much as technology that we need. And AI came at the right time for our product. I'm very grateful for it. So the way we're gonna help use AI, and I call my company, our company is Impact AI Company. We're gonna use AI to impact people's life and love it. And the way we're going to do it, one of the main things that the problem you're facing is that, for example, creating an activity, you need a lot of information to create an activity. Like, for example, a color photo. You need
Mm.
time, you need description, you need all different type of title. Usually, that will take somewhere from 30 minutes to an hour to bring all these things together. If you want to do it more professional, it will take you more time. But for example, on our app, literally by using AI, we have been able to do something that people used to do in an hour or a couple of hours to come up with the whole thing of an event in less than 60 seconds. You can just tell me what you want. Hey, I want to have a hike with my friends next week Saturday. As simple as that. And then we can just go ahead in 60 seconds, create you an activity and also invite your friends. I think that is just the beginning of it. We are intending to use AI to create a positive environment. Another thing is that content control, how we can control the content to be positive, and want to create a positive platform for people who can just spread love, spread happiness and well-being.
So can you explain in a very simple way, like how exactly the AI is doing its magic?
Let's say we have a dinner party at your house, or I have a dinner party in my house. I need to come up with multiple things, a cover photo. I need to come up with a photo, a video, a detailed description of what's going to happen, a date, a time, all these different things. That might take some time. So AI will do that very fastly. Create the content. AI will create that content very super fast.
Mm-hmm.
By based on a knowledge, very like one sentence.
I see. So it basically helps people to create a description for their events, leveraging AI's power into like image and text.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I see.
And this is just the beginning. We are trying to connect people through AI. So basically, we are using AI to create more connections, to have people to connect more and do more things.
I see. In general, how do you envision the future of like human plus AI, and how would that look like? And any concerns and things like that?
That's a very good question. As human being, one of our abilities is building tools. And one of the reasons we have been the king of this planet is that we have learned to be social and use tools.
Mm.
And the first tool that we built was fire. Speaking of fire, that was the first tool we built 10,000 years ago. And then that's how human evolved, because we were able to cook meat. Now we're able to forge things and build tools and become hunter-gatherer and farmers. Going back to fire, is that if you look at the fire is a tool. We can use it to burn down a house. That's a negative application of it. Or we can use it to cook a food.
Mm.
That's a positive side of it. Or we
Mhm.
can use it to make things or mold cars or do things. So similar to any tool out there, AI is similar. It could be I understand the dooming, oh, the AI gonna do this. Sure, the fire could also burn things. But one thing I believe is also, if we look at the positive side, if we look at what can we do with AI to help humans do better, I think that what we should look at. And um, evolution, we cannot stop evolution at all. So what we need to do, how can we use evolution? How can we use technology? How we can use science? How we can use this learning and growing? How in our advantage? I think it's just the beginning of, we are going to advance so much. We're going to spread out through this universe for years to come. And it's just the beginning of it. We're going to learn so much. We're going to do a lot of stuff. I'm really excited. I am not concerned about it. I think there are lots of doomers about it, but I think we should just enforce the positivity, enforce how can we impact food? How can we impact education? How can we bring people together with AI? How can we create more jobs with AI? I understand maybe some people, okay, we're going to our jobs. I don't think that's true. I think we're going to build more jobs with AI.
Just like what Meta's founder said, being technology optimistic.
That's true. That is true. What we are doing is positive technology. That's what we are doing in Boonoob. We are
Positive
building a
technology.
positive technology. Yeah.
I love that. Let's come
Yes.
back. Let's bring the conversation
Let's see.
back to the Boonoob. What is your ultimate vision for Boonoob? How do you see that benefit human beings?
I love it. I think 30 years ago, when internet came into life, uh, we brought in a new vision and new hope. And since then, we have been able to collaborate on knowledge. You look at the Wikipedia. What is Wikipedia? Wikipedia, or the whole internet, is a collaborative knowledge of everyone out there. Like Wikipedia, a big example of it is Wikipedia, all social media, we have been able to collaboratively. People have been able to put their own knowledge out there and come together and build a page. The way I envision Boonoob and the future of humanity is that we are going to go even one step further. We are going to not only use our knowledge, but we're going to do things together and in a positive way. So I
Mm,
would envision there's three things at the same time. First of all, people do things. Right now people are just like on their phones reading things or knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge going on, but there are lots of actions happening. And people are in their homes and like up and down. We want people to do things, go out, do things, and that's just doing things. It's just part of our happiness, part of our getting out there and doing things, moving forward, accomplishment, doing something, accomplishment, and meaning. Just doing things help people to get out there, become better. Together, the second part is together, doing things together and just coming together, build the relationship, build the social connections, build the community, engage in things. So that's also huge. And then build a platform where things are positive. Like right now, we have this crisis of negativity, hate, and all these
mm,
things are happening. So building a platform that people can spread love, more love. No, I understand the freedom of speech, but at the same time, we need to be able to say good things. We need to be able to just spread love, not only just hatred, evil things. I think so. That's why we need to come together, do things together with positivity, and that's humans can flourish instead of 5.5 out of 10 the wellness happiness score of world, we can be 6.5. We can be 7 out of 10 and see what happens to humanity, see what happens to productivity. We become more productive, we become more happy, we become better and better as humans. So that's my vision for it.
I love it.
Thanks for asking.
Authentic, authentic social connections at scale, to help people flourish and bloom. I,
That's
I
correct.
like
I
I like
love the
that
Boonoob.
through AI powered positive technologies.
That's
It's
correct. That's correct.
an elevator pitch right there. Excellent, excellent.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank
Very
you,
good. Now
Dixon. Thank you.
let's
Thank you.
kind of now do another pivot, and
Let's do that.
because nowadays, like, in this modern world, you are never enough. Like every day we
Mhm.
see ourselves,
Mhm.
like, even though like I'm doing so much, I'm just doing so much more, but I'm never enough. Like this kind of just bugs people every day, and success to us feels like so hard. And you have to be like
Mhm.
Warren Buffett
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
Steve Jobs to be really successful. But
Mhm. Mhm.
the reality is it's not. I think that's why
Mhm.
the younger generations are so easy to get emo, right? So now let's
Mhm.
kind of come back to you as a person. Um what did you enjoy doing when you were like 12 years old?
Wow, thank you. Thank you. That's a nice question. It helps me go back all the way to when I was 12 years old. Um, I was living in Iran. I was a kid. My parents, I have really good parents. I have really good family. I miss them every day. I have not seen them for the past 12 years. I've not been able to go back. But Um, one story I remember is my parents wanted to go to, let's say, Tehran. So I was living in a smaller city, and they were like, "We're going to travel for a few days to a bigger city." And I was like, "Oh, in school, I couldn't go with them." So they asked me, "Hey, what do you want for you to bring?" And my answer was, "Hey, bring me books." Bring me
Mm.
books. And they were like, what? Like, you are asking me for like chocolate or chips or like, toys and all, and you ask me for to bring books. So they come back with books for me to write better, different things that I learned. So I really, when I started young age, I was very interested to learn more. At 13, 14, I forced my dad and mom to buy me a computer. So I was privileged, to be honest. I think my dad was able to buy me a computer. That was very privileged for me to be able to do that. I could sit down in front of the computer and Yahoo things. There was not Google that time, it was Yahoo that time. I would Yahoo things for hours and hours. My access to internet was 1 hour per day, so I couldn't access more. That time was like dial-up internet, and they go. connect with the internet for 1 hour, and I couldn't do more. But I love just learning and learning. I couldn't stop it. I was just so absorbed in learning, and I'm so grateful for being able to learn so much. And I owe that to the reason I'm here is that just learning, and I owe that to my parents and all my teachers and people who helped me through this journey to learn more.
Excellent. And I think that's entrepreneurship is always like ongoing. You always have to learn and have to apply. So it resonates with kind of what you really enjoy doing. Was
Thank you so
there
much.
was there a kind of like a major challenge that you have to overcome in your life that makes who you are now?
For for sure, for sure. Thank you so much for asking. We talk about all good things and positive things, but the reality of life is that life is hard, and that's the reality of life. Life is never easy, and it's just like I think through hardship we learn, and we can look at this hardship as a blessing that we learn more skills through it as a personal growth. In that time, maybe in that moment, it's very hard to deal with. It's very hard and it's very sad. But then when you come out of it, you come stronger. And that also applies to me as well as any human being. So I've gone through multiple, seasons in life that you go down like anyone else. But one of the seasons that I went down in life that was very hard for me was when I migrated to US. I came as a researcher to US, and I just came here for, a research study. And then as I mentioned, how I came here, but and I did my master's. But I felt very lonely. That was one of the most darkest time of my life. A lonely person, especially as I come as an Iranian. We are here. There's so much biases around us. They call us different things. It's completely not true at all. Like, I'm not gonna get into politics, but as someone who come to the States, I especially felt very lonely in more of a wider in the east side of America, mostly. So I lived here for a while. So I dealt with a lot of loneliness and mental. So that I struggled with mental health and loneliness, a lot of mental health and loneliness, culture shock. And I was not able to connect with people, and was not able to, and people didn't usually didn't want me to in their circle in different things. Or of course, there are lots of good people everywhere, but it's just like there are things that you deal with in your life. So that's loneliness and mental health. That's directly I try to fix it. So I try my best to become more a person who can deal with situation, deal with people. That's made me a people person. That made me someone who can deal with my skill. I build up a lot of skills to deal with people, and that's directly talk to what I'm trying to accomplish with Boonoob. What I'm trying to fix. This is
Oh
my
yeah,
this
we're
is my
we're
problem.
we're coming
Yes,
to a full circle now.
the whole full circle now.
Excellent,
Exactly.
excellent. So, do you think the people side is kind of your magic? What do you think is your magic? Like the kind of characteristic of yourself that makes competition irrelevant?
Absolutely. I think, thanks so much. Absolutely. I think one of my competitive advantage as a personal person and like someone who is leading this company is that I've gone through so much hardship with people and mental health that I've come out of it successful. And thank God I've come successful, and I've
Mm.
become so skillful in dealing with people. And I know what people want, what people need, because I've dealt with it, and I've become a person who I can deal with people every day. I love people. I love the dealing with people, and I enjoy doing it. And I love to help people. And I think that is my magic, to help people, to be with people, to bring people together. When I bring people together and I see them, they're creating connections, is my heaven. I've seen people marry together. I've seen people create best friendship together throughout these activities that we create and throughout this app. That is just a blessing to see them coming together. I've seen people married together. It's just amazing that hey, these people came together because of you, and you bring people together. They got investment because of you. They became happier because of you. It just makes people happier. And
I
that's the
love
magic.
that. That's your magic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very great. Very glad to have you, Hesam, and your passion is coming across the screen, and I hope our listeners
Thank you
can
so much.
get infused in our passion conversation, and hope our light can shed light to their lives and make them feel more optimistic and be more magical and see the light in their life and in a world that it's in a world that it's easy to go the other way.
I agree. Thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing to, bring scientific grounds to more connections and learning for people. I'm very grateful today to be on your podcast. I hope your audience enjoyed and loved what we talked about here and our story. I appreciate. I'm honored.
Thank you, Hesam.
Thank you. That is Jiani. I appreciate.